Alright, fellas. Today we are covering the barbell back squat. That's my favorite lift out of the three. I think it's the lift that I am the best at out of the three. I'm going to be going over my form, how I set my hands, where I put the bar on my back. Obviously, it'll vary person to person for the hands and where you put the bar. Where I set the safeties, how I set the safeties. You should always use safeties. I don't know why people don't, but I think the only time I've ever seen people not use safeties is in like the gym fail edits where people like eat it under a PR attempt because they didn't use safeties for some reason. And then all else that I'm going to show you guys is how I hit reps. So what I do at the start, bottom, and when I finish a rep. And then I'm going to show you guys my reps that I hit in my leg day today, and just kind of show you how I try to keep the same form no matter what weight I put on the bar. We're going to go over that, and then that should be about it. Not sure how long the video is going to be today. I would guess like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, but we'll see. I got like a minute and a half of leg day film going on here. Yeah, around a minute and a half, so we'll see. Let's get into it. This first clip here, you can see me setting the bar on my back. This is where I'm going to show you guys how high I set the safeties. Yeah, you want to just find the depth that you're comfortable going to, whatever that is. That's going to be different for everybody. If you're competing, obviously, it's like below 90. So I messed up that first rep. But you see I'll drop down, kind of bounce a little bit. But you want to see where that bottom of your range of motion is. Like wherever you're at the bottom of your squat, I'd say the bar should be like an inch or two above the safeties so that you can easily dump out and not have to worry about injury. Yeah, so I like to set my hands about like just outside shoulder width. I have pretty good shoulder mobility, so this works for me. I also like to set the bar right on my rear delts. So that'll normally put me in a pretty strong position. It can take some getting used to, and it can definitely hurt your wrists a little bit. So I wouldn't recommend like instantly going just outside the shoulders unless you have pretty good shoulder mobility. But you want to try and get your hands as like in close to your body as you can for a nice tight back on the back squat. Yeah, so after I've set my hands and got the bar where I want it on my back, I will the bar should be tight, so like you want to wedge your way under the bar so that you have a good amount of tension going on. A good way to tell is you should just have to like push your hips forward, and that'll pick the weight up out of the rack. After I do that, I take my walk out. I try to brace before I walk out just to avoid any like messing up my back or anything like that. Once I'm ready to squat and I have my feet like evenly lined up on the floor, I'll take a big breath in and brace, and then you'll actually see me hinge forward. So I'll like push my butt back and drop my chest forward a little bit. This just helps me keep the weight like above my feet, if that makes sense. So like if my feet were here, I want to keep the weight over the middle of my feet so I can push as hard as possible and put out as much strength as I can. I'd say the lean is less important, but if you're trying to power lift, you should definitely try to practice your brace and then like leaning forward just so that you have that nice positioning. Alright, and to wrap up the video today, I might do some yapping after, but this is my squats from today. These are all my warm-ups from just the bar. I went bar 135. I believe I went straight. Yep, 225. I went 315, 365, 405. But you can kind of see how I try my best to keep my foot position the same. I keep my hands in the same spot every time. Eventually throw on the wrist wraps, just to help with that wrist pain that I was talking about, knee sleeves. Just give you a little bit of spring out of the hole, helpful for competition and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't throw any stigma towards the knee sleeves or the wrist wraps, just because they are helpful. Like, if people give you shit for it, like, you're not affecting them by using them. If you're gonna compete, you should use what's allowed. Like, you should take the fullest opportunity of equipment that your federation lets you use. Um, yeah, just the checklist. We have setting the bar on our back wherever feels comfortable. If we're trying to be strong, like if we're trying to move as much weight as possible, we're going to do what's called low bar. We're going to set it on top of those rear delts. We're going to wedge under. We're going to shoot our hips forward to unrack. We'll take our breath to walk out so we don't hurt ourselves. Once we're set with our feet even, we'll take a big breath in, hinge forward, drop down. Squat, like try to hit depth, squat back up, and then just be careful walking it back in. You see a lot of clips of people like absolutely missing the rack. I've done it, I'm not gonna lie. Like a year ago, I did it with 315, almost blew my shoulder. Just so you guys know, I plan on uploading, I came up with a schedule just twice a week. I'm gonna do 6 p.m. every week on Sundays and Wednesdays. So if anybody feels like tuning in semi-frequently, or subscribing or something, like people who want to actually watch my stuff, it'll be every Sunday and Wednesday. I'll set them to like post the video at 6, just because that gives me time to make them, and it doesn't like cloud your feed or anything. If you're on YouTube a lot, it doesn't, like, you don't just see me. I hope this was a helpful video. If you have any questions, just like leave it in the comments. I'll try to address them. I can reply with just a comment, or I could make a whole video talking about the comment, depending on how in-depth I need to go. But this is just like the basic, what I would tell somebody if they asked me, hey, what do you do to squat? This is what I do. So, see you around, fellas.